Hello everyone. In this video we are going to talk about how to complete the square. So this assignment is on IXL. It is BB.9 Complete the Square. It deals with quadratic expressions. Quadratic expressions means when you have the highest power of 2 in the variables, then you deal with quadratics. So in this assignment the objective is making it look like the square form. So the square form, let's just start with that. How does it look? So the square form is when we have, let me start with some examples first, and then I will kind of like create the formula looking at the pattern in the numbers. So here are some square forms. X squared plus 4x plus 4. That's just one. Let's start with the positives first, and then we will move on to negatives. Another one, x squared plus 6x plus 9. Another one, x squared plus 12x plus 36. Now let's just try to figure out the pattern. I'll explain the pattern in these three expressions, the quadratic expressions. These are all in the square form, and then we will create another one. So looking at these numbers, there is a particular relationship between this number and that one. So if we didn't see the other equation expressions, maybe you could think that okay, they should be equal to each other, but that's not the case, because look at here, 6 and 9, 12 and 36. As the numbers are increasing, the difference between them are increasing too. But how? So the relationship between them is you divide the middle number by 2 and then square that number. That's what it is. So divide the middle number by 2, and then let me just see if I can drag this over here. Oops. Let's just, okay. So to get this number, the second number, what we do, we take the middle number and divide it by 2, then square. That's what we do. To get this last number, you take the middle number, divide it by 2, and then square. To get 36, we do 12 over 2. That's 6. And then if we square that number, it equals to 36. That's the pattern. Okay? So now let's just do another one. Let's say the first number is x, the first term is x squared. It should be x squared, just 1x squared for the square form. Let's say the second number is 10, okay? 10x. So if I want to complete the square for the last number, I want to divide this number by 2. That's going to give me 5. Let's just do it on the side. 10 over 2 equals 5. That's step 1. And then you got to square that number. 5 squared equals 25. These are the two steps that you're going to follow to get this assignment done. That's what we are doing. That's the objective. So the last number is going to be 25. What if the numbers are negatives? So let's just do a few negatives in here. X squared minus, if it's an even number, it's going to be easier because we need to divide it by 2. 8x. And always the power is going to decrease. Very good. The first term is x squared, the second term is x, the last one is going to be a number. Look at all those. X squared is the first term, x is the second term, and then a number is the third term. The power of the variable is decreasing. The power is 2 in here, the power is 1 in here, but it's invisible, we don't see that. And then there's always x to the 0 right in there, multiplied by any of those numbers, because any variable or number to the power of 0 is just 1. So it's basically multiplying it by 1, or not even multiplying it by 1, because when you do that you're gonna get all these numbers, like 36 times 1 is 36, 25 times 1 is 25. So either one of these are right. You can put times 1 or times x to the 0 or nothing at all, because they are not going to change the value of those numbers in the end. So now let's get back to this example over here. I know this is taking a while, but I'm trying to explain why we are doing this. I could have just said divide the middle number by 2, square it, but this is the reason. We're going to make it look like a particular form. And then I will show you why we are doing this in a moment. So let's say the middle number is negative 8. Okay, what happens if we divide negative 8 by 2? Negative 8 over 2 is negative 4. Now I'm going to square that number. Is this going to be negative 16 or positive 16? That is the question. So the main problem with squaring negative numbers is many students forget the meaning of what square of negative 4 means or square of negative 7 means. And the most common mistake is that when I say negative 4 squared, students do this. And then this yields negative 16 because what it means when you put it this way is negative and then square the 4. That's what that means. Square the 4. Square means multiply it by itself. The numbers equal to 16 and then there's a negative sign in front of this. This is the wrong way of doing it. When I say negative 4 squared or square of negative 4 would be a better way to say it. Square of negative 4 should be written this way. Negative 4 should be in the parentheses, so we know that we are multiplying the negative by itself and then we are multiplying the 4 by itself versus just multiplying the 4 by itself and then bringing down that negative in front of it. So this right here is negative 4 times negative 4. The answer is going to be equal to positive 16. So this would be positive, not negative. Okay, that's going to be kind of like the part that you got to pay attention. So no matter what the middle number sign is, it could be positive or negative. Since you're going to square the whole thing, you're either going to square the positive or negative. The answer is going to turn into positive anyways. So x squared minus 10x divide 10 by 2, it is 5, negative 5. But then when you square that negative 5, you're going to end up with negative 5 times negative 5 turns into positive 25. So, but why are we doing this? What's the point of completing the square? Since I have a lot of work over here done, I will explain it in the next example, but let's just get this done over here. The given expression is this. To get the number in the box, we divide the negative 20 by 2. You can use a calculator or not, that's up to you. That equals to negative 10, and then square that expression. Don't forget about the square. Don't forget about it. So negative 10, when you square negative 10, it turns into positive 100. So the number you need in the box is 100. So let's get this done, submit it. And then in the next question, let me explain the point of this. Let's solve the question first, and then let's see what we can do with the square form. 18 is a positive divided by 2. That's step 1. It gives us positive 9. And when you square that positive 9, it equals to 18. So the box is going to be 18. But what can we do with it? That's not 18, that's 81. I don't know why I said 18. Okay, so this one is going to be 81. But what other things can we do with this? So the square form is actually not what you see. Square form is the form that we can obtain using what we are looking at right now. And that looks like square, we have s squared, right? It goes in here, s, and then what other number is squared in this expression, the original expression? Isn't that 81 equal to 9 squared and then s equals to s squared? My bad, s squared is x squared, s squared. So that 81 is 9 squared. The sign in the middle tells me the sign between these two, and then everything is squared. That's what it is equal to. You can kind of write it in a more compact form, and this is called the square form. The square form is not, again, what you see originally in the question when we put 81 in there. This is called standard form, because you have all of the numbers and variables together on one side. That's the definition of standard form. So if you need like more help with the standard form, how to deal with those quadratic expressions, just click the link at the top. That video is gonna show you what kind of problems you can have with the standard form. But the point of this assignment is make the given quadratic look like, put it in the proper form so that you can write it as a square form. So that's what this assignment is about. Let's just submit this answer and then do the next one. Okay, what's the number in the middle? It is 2. Divide the middle number by 2. You get the same number. I don't know what's up with me today. Divide the middle number by 2, you get 1, and then square that number, it gives you the same answer anyways. So the last number is gonna be 1. But again, this is called the standard form. If the question was rewrite the equation in the square form, then it would look like j and then 1. You use these numbers and variables, and then the sign in the middle goes in between them, and you square the whole thing. That's the square form. That's the actual square form. Now this right here, 30 over 2 is 15. 15 squared is 225. So that number is going to be 225. But then again, you use the numbers that gives you those two and the variables z and 15. The sign in between them should be plus squared. This is not part of the assignment. That's how, again, the square form looks like. Okay, let's skip a level and see if it gets any harder. Complete the square. Fill in the number that makes the polynomial a perfect square quadratic. Okay, great. So remember I just said when you figure out that number, that's not making it the square, but it makes the polynomial, the quadratic polynomial, a perfect square quadratic, which means you can convert it to the form that I just showed you. Like this one right here. What happens when you divide 23 by 2? I don't know. I don't want to put decimals in there. So what I want to do, I'm just going to keep it that way. Negative 23 divided by 2. And then, if I square this expression, that's going to give me the last number, right? So, what's 23 times 23? Don't expect me to know that. Let's see. If I can write, yeah. Okay, so 529. So the last number is going to be 529, and remember, the sign doesn't matter, because when we square that negative sign that we have in here, it will turn into positive anyway. So 23 times 23 is 529, and then divided by 2 squared. What is 2 squared? That's 4. That's going to be the number that I need in the box. 529 divided by 4. I'm not sure if it's going to ask me to turn it into decimal, but I don't think so. Let's test it out. Okay, so you can keep it as a fraction. Let's do this one. When you divide this, complete the square. Okay, it's the same kind of question. Divide this by 2. That gives you 6. And then square that number. The last number is going to be 36. So the box is going to be 36. And if it says, what's the square form of this? Then let's just do it. K plus 6 squared. Because 6 times 6 is 36. K times K is K squared. And then the sign in between is going to be right there. I'm trying to see if there is going to be one with the negative. Let's just do this. I'm trying to find an example with a negative in between. But I don't think, if it's not here, it's not going to be. Okay, this is a good one. This is going to be the last example. So, step 1, divide the number in the middle by 2, and then square that. basically you're going to do 29 squared and then 2 squared. The bottom is going to be 4. The denominator of this fraction is 4. Let's figure out the numerator. 29 times 29 is going to be whatever it is. Okay, 1, 4, 8. So 841 divided by 4 is what you're looking for. I know we cannot simplify this any further. So that's going to be my final answer. So that's it for this assignment, guys, completing the square. What we do again is divide the middle number by 2 and then square it. So since we are squaring either a positive or negative number, it'll eventually turn into a positive. For example, this one, it's going to turn into positive 81. So the point of this is so we can simplify it in the next step, which has nothing to do with this assignment, as p minus is the sign in between, and then 9 is the last number. So that we can put it in that form. It's not p minus q, it is p minus 9. My 9's and q's look similar. So thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to respond as quickly as possible.